Hierdie week op SportsView rig ons sigte op fietsry voor die Pick n Pay Argus fietsry toer. First up, we spent some time with David Eave, who last year competed the Argus on a unicycle and then took part in the World Championships in Italy. Dan volgens 'n span fietsryers wie laas jaar af Kaapstad toe gery het voor die Argus, als vir liefdadigheid.
Ripanako kwa Diepsloot and see what is being done to promote cycling in Gauteng. We focus on Luthando Kaka, oiling mopagami wa bicycle wa setlhopha sa Bonitas, and we believe we'll be up there with the leaders in the run-in to the finish at the Argus. Tse le tse dingwe mo go SportsView, where you belong. $12 Waiti, Kinagwaruna, Moho SportsView on SABC2. I'm KB Ngakane and you are welcome onto our show. Rumela Milaeta, facebook.com/sportsview, Hosaga email, sportsview@razorworks.co.za, lega Twitter. We'd like to hear from you. Horhuira lang, mo lenantenga tamitameko. Twitter @sportsview2. Simple. Alright, so now on to our first story. It's hard enough to be cycling at the Cape Argus. Imagine people that do it with a unicycle. There's one guy, David Eave, who participated in the World Unicycling Championships. Now hear this story. Yo, Malta Papa, it's Jim, baby, it's Jim.
Take the penny farthing cycle of the 19th century, improve it over time, and you have unicycling. The pedal and cranks are connected directly to the front axle. So wat aanvanklik gelyk het soos 'n sirkusaktiwiteit, het verander na 'n hoogs gesofistikeerde sport wêreldwyd.
I was studying medicine last year when I started training, and it was quite convenient in that I live in an observatory, and I was riding every morning to work, which was in Wynberg. It was a convenient cycle. So every morning I woke up in the pitch dark and I rode the 25 odd kilometers to work on the M3 through the southern suburbs in Cape Town, and it's the most fantastic training route.
Having completed a number of Argus cycle tours, I think I'd completed about my 22nd Argus cycle tour, and my son Dylan came home with a unicycle. I then learned to ride this unicycle because of pressure that he put me under, and then we decided to get the right tools, and we managed to get funders and get 36-inch wheels, and then I managed to complete the Argus cycle tour. I considered it quite a challenge at 50 to now start riding a unicycle, but I managed to do it. One must realize that the discipline of riding a unicycle is very different to that of a bicycle. First of all, the unicycle has no gear, so you're riding with one ratio. Not only are you riding with one ratio, but that one ratio is fixed. In other words, no freewheeling. So you have to plan your Argus cycle tour, remembering there's no freewheeling. You pedal uphill and you pedal downhill.
Na 'n suksesvolle Argus in 2011 en 2012, het David Eave besluit om sy Unifiets oor see te neem na die Unifiets Wêreldkampioenskap in Italië. So after many kilometers on the Atlantic seaboard, he and his wife Ray left South Africa and headed to Bressanone in Italy to firstly understand the level of participation and challenge the rest of the world at their game. Die pragtige Noord-Italiaanse stad met sy toegewyde fietspaaie was 'n perfekte plek vir hierdie gebeurtenis.
Completing 2 Argus cycle tours on a unicycle then gave me the confidence and the capability of now thinking of going to the World Championships. Admittedly, not going to try and win the World Championships, not at over 50, certainly you don't stand a chance. But to be able to ride with other unicycles, particularly in a foreign country, I felt the 2 Argus cycle tours have prepared me for the capability, in fact, going to the World Championships and riding in a completely novel environment in northern Italy. One of the interesting things about being in Bressanone is that nobody looked twice at you on a unicycle. The World Championships attracted well over 2,000 unicyclists from all over the world to participate in a number of disciplines, not only in long-distance disciplines that I'm training to do. So when you ride your unicycle in central Bressanone, nobody gives you a second look. Whereas when you do it at home along the beachfront in Tableview, you're quite novel and you get a lot of attention, a lot of attraction. And that's what makes unicycling fun as well, promoting the sport because you're doing something novel. the marathon event drew around 250 entrants of all ages on all different sort of unicycles, and the 100-kilometer event was supported by about 150 unicycles.
There were old, young, real athletic and not so athletic, and David really fitted in well, and it was nice to just be there and support him.
I was anticipating that doing the races in Italy, being on a unicycle with unicyclists, this would be far easier. The exact opposite. You are in tight little spaces, it's difficult to maneuver amongst other unicyclists, and I found that quite a challenge to work in a bus, try and slipstream, try and overtake. When you're all going around 20 kilometers an hour, it's very, very difficult. Also, what made it very challenging in Italy, all the events were held on bicycle paths.
We're on board with David just after the start of his first race.
Well, very interesting. The race started off very well. In the first hour in the marathon, I managed to do 22 kilometers, which is a personal best. And I passed many people in that event. I was feeling very pleased with myself. And then, horror of all horrors, I go and get a puncture.
Kilometers, and at 28 kilometers, I've got a puncture again.
I was a little disappointed when I didn't see David coming around the corner when I was meant to see him coming around. My biggest fear was, how was I going to explain to these Italians that I'm looking for my husband on a one-wheel, on a unicycle. In South Africa, he's unique. There are not many of them. There, every second person's on a unicycle. So then eventually, when he did come around the corner, I was quite relieved to see that there was no blood and he wasn't limping. So he was okay. He was a little exhausted, and I think he was a bit disappointed.
Should I have completed the event without having the puncture, I would certainly have been the fastest in my age category.
David didn't go there to win the race. It was to just enjoy it, to see the beautiful scenery, to do something different. And even though it didn't go as well as he was hoping it would, it was just awesome being there and being part of the whole Unicon.
When I heard that the next Unicon 16 in 2014 is in Canada, in Montreal, I thought, wow, how on earth am I going to afford to go to Montreal? But I will get to Montreal. I have to go and do Unicon 17, not only so that I can compete, but I can see all those wonderful people that I met in Unicon 16, and particularly a guy from Sweden by the name of Svein Petter solo cyclist Van Gossi. I have to go and see him again and compete in the next Unicycle World Championships in 2014.
So look out for David Eave during next week's August cycle tour, as once again it will merely be a training ride for him.
I've put in a far more structured training program this year. I started building up from early January. I've included running and I've included some Pilates exercise. So I'm feeling very good. I'm in good shape. And providing there isn't strong wind, I anticipate doing a very good August cycle tour in 2013. And that is going to set the foundation for me to train and get the impetus for the next Unicon World Championships in 2014.
Ga re tswa bokhutsong re latella setlhopha sa bapagami ba